observation that Tony makes, because it's a sign of the times. I was following that on Twitter also, and what you can see, that's raw data. Nobody's manipulating, massaging it. You're seeing what people, all over the country are watching and feeling. Are they answering the question, or are they not answering? We get all of us at our homes, we get a chance to participate, and anybody can watch that. And when you see a country saying that one person is answering questions directly and the other isn't, that's a pretty big statement to make, and something that I think we should watch as we go forward in this election.
Right. Tony, when you are watching the debate and following along on Twitter, I did it as well last night. It is really interesting to see, and a lot of people had comments about Ron Paul and his tone. What did you make of that, Tony?
I think, and I watched and I paid attention, I wonder if he knew that he was in a debate for the Republican nomination. And he sounded, if you wanted to come off sounding more eccentric, you couldn't have done a better job than Ron Paul did last night. The discussion on the military probably confounded a lot of people. The difference between defense spending and military spending, and the giggles in between probably showed that he didn't have much confidence in what he was saying. Ron Paul is usually direct. He knows exactly what he wants to say, but he was flummoxed last night.
All right, Tony, Eric, stand by. We have a clip of Ron Paul from last night from the debate hosted by Fox News Channel. Let's take a listen.
You don't understand there's a difference between military spending and defense spending. Just because you spend $1 billion on an embassy in Baghdad, bigger than the Vatican, you consider that defense spending. I consider that waste. So...
And then, of course, he talked about the golden rule, saying that we should apply the golden rule when we turn to foreign countries, and as how, treat them as you would want to be treated. That didn't seem to go over too well. A lot of people had some strong reaction. I want to get to Eric, but Tony, while I still have you on the satellite, what do you make of Ron Paul and the clip we just played?
And there are Paulites in every crowd, for sure, and the golden rule. The idea of bringing our military home from every base around the world, I think strikes most reasonable people as something unconscionable that they'd never consider. And I think every time Paul makes that argument, he's making the case for everyone else that he's not a serious candidate.
Eric?
Yeah, not a serious candidate for any party, left, right, middle, I don't care what you are. I don't think anybody takes that seriously, and he was caught in a very awkward position. It seemed like he was trying to do a Jedi mind trick of some sort to explain his position. It just made no sense whatsoever.
And what about Rick Perry? His performance, a lot of people talking about, as Carl mentioned, getting some high marks.
I'm not surprised. What he's done is, I think he's gotten a little bit better in every debate. Last night was clearly his best performance. Everybody's job is knock off Romney. I mean, that's the guy they have to go after, and they're clearly all doing that.
Right. And Tony, when you look forward into what's going to happen this weekend, where do you think this lands us moving forward for Saturday's vote?
Well, I think you'll see a tightening of this race, and it's interesting. Santorum gets the support of the conservatives. They get together and say he's our guy, and then Newt Gingrich has the wonderful night in the debate. And so, will they take from each other, or will it be recognized in Newt Gingrich's sister, the next door state? Will he be the one to move forward and come a little bit closer? As it narrows, it's possible, but there's this other narrative that says nothing's moving in Florida, or Florida's moving in Romney's direction, and will that pull more people behind him in South Carolina? After all, they still want somebody more likely to win, and he's been able to sell that to this point. But I don't think he did himself any favors last night.
I mean, a lot of people are talking. I was talking with Andrea Tantaros, who's on the 5. You can see her on Fox News Channel. We were talking about last night's debate. Obviously, she's going to be talking about it with the 5 tonight. And she was saying, I said, what'd you make of it last night? And she said, I continue to feel like I am being forced into an arranged marriage, that I'm going to have to live with the choice that's coming up. Chances are it's going to be Romney. And, comparing, when she compared it to an arranged marriage, I thought that was kind of funny.
All along, like for 6 months I've sat here saying, it's going to be Romney. It's going to be Romney. And all he has to do is defend the fort, which is what he did last night. He didn't win. He didn't make any great proclamations, jump out at us in any way, shape, or form. But he defended the fort, which is the first place fort, which is where he's going to end up. And I don't think it's going to get tight at all.
A lot of argument over the release of tax returns. He was asked pointedly if he was going to be releasing his tax returns, Mitt Romney was, and he, he shuffled around it, saying maybe in April. What did you think, Tony? Should we be seeing the tax returns coming out for all these candidates?
I think so. I think Rick Santorum and Newt Gingrich make a very good point. Let's find out now, just in case there's anything in there. Romney's answer, and he took way too long to get to the answer, but Romney's answer that maybe he will do what most people did and release them around April, somewhere around April, was fuzzy and showed that he's really, really, really good at the dodge. I don't know.